Okay, Ant-Man, the latest joint, Quantumania. Seen it? What are your thoughts?
Wasn't my favorite. Wasn't horrible. So there's not a bunch of negativity about to come from me, but it wasn't my favorite because I have my picks. Kang the villain sold it for me. Like Kang the villain was vicious enough for me to be like, I'm happy because we're gonna get more. But the movie itself, it didn't fall flat. It just wasn't for me personally. It was okay. It was okay. I like certain scenes. Overall, as a film, I kind of, it didn't have that extra juice for me.
So for me, now of course, going into these, there's always the public perception, which is a bunch of different things, and it's the popular thing to tear a movie down, and it's a popular thing to say Marvel's dying. If anything comes up they don't like, all of a sudden Marvel's dying, the MCU's dying, blah blah blah, which is a ridiculous take. It's so fucking dramatic. Now, I always ignore that going into a movie, and I judge based on how I actually feel about the movie after I see it.
Right, watching it yourself.
This one, for me personally, there's a lot of parts that let me down. Now, of course, spoiler free in the beginning. It's just this movie didn't really hit the way I thought it was gonna hit in certain aspects. Like, as far as the story, we have a good story. Some of the execution, to me personally, it just kind of fell flat with certain characters and all that. Number one, and I'm gonna keep things vague right now, M-Dogg was just overly goofy for me. Like, they pretty much took this dude's face and stretched it to the point where, like, they kind of made M-Dogg a running joke. Whereas M-Dogg is already a goofy looking motherfucker in the comics anyway. Like, he's a big fucking flying face, ultimately. Crazy motherfucker. These niggas psycho. Like, he's out of his fucking mind.
Ultimate weapon type.
But here it's like, the way they handled M-Dogg, I was like,
It took you.
Like when the face was down, then I'm like, all right, okay. But then whenever it came up, and you know how in Ant-Man movies, like the mask always come up, so they can actually talk. Whenever that joint came up, I'm like, man.
You know what this face reminded me of?
What?
Remember the bootleg DVDs back in the day, where the screen would be so close to the camera, everybody's face be extra fucking big because it's a bootleg copy.
No. Like the bootleg cover, where they take the image of the movie and they stretch it.
You take the picture art and it's like, I gotta make this shit fit right.
Like you go to the barbershop, you get
the barbershop dish,
and then Raheem come in with the 10 bootlegs. Like, yeah, man, I got the new movies, man. I got the new movies. Face stretched in front of the front cover.
I got that new Ant-Man a year pro.
Like, face is just stretched. Like that's what that shit remind me of. Like, why is his face cover the front and the back? Like, it don't make sense.
But that's how he looked in the movie.
Yeah. So it's like that's one point. And I feel like now Kang is a threat. And what they're doing is establishing him as a threat and showing you, what to be scared of. I don't really feel like Kang was enough of a threat in this movie.
Okay.
Like, he showed up, he did some stuff, but I didn't really buy the threat level from Kang. Now, you can compare that to like the early showings of Thanos, where he didn't really do too much, but those were more so cameos type things, like I do it myself and shit like that. This one, he's in the whole movie, but I didn't really feel like he was a threat. Like, he did some stuff. I'm like, okay, he could be, but I'm like, he's just kind of sitting there chilling and he's doing some things, but I didn't really buy him as a legit threat yet. Anyway, like, there's the potential, of course, and that's why I would look at Quantumania as a setup movie. It's setting up Kang, the future Kangs, and what they can do and the threat that's coming. Because they keep talking about there's this threat. So they're pretty much showcasing it like this. But as far as a villain in a movie, I feel like I didn't really buy him at, like, I'm not scared of the dude. You know what I mean? I feel like you make Kang in this version of Kang in the strip. Like, yeah, what's up, man? Like, yeah, whatever, man. Right, you always talking that shit, huh?
I can get past you.
Yeah, that type.
I'm happy you said it because I couldn't find the words. That's what it is for me right now. It's more so, it's a setup film. And if it's a setup film, I can respect that because if there's one thing I have learned from Marvel or from movies all over, sometimes you have to build up to a certain...
It's building. It's building. Now, unfortunately, that means... For me personally, there's some parts of the movie I'm like, Now, I'm not going to say the movie was bad because, like, there are some parts that I enjoyed, but there are also a lot of parts that fell flat for me and some parts that I feel like the execution just wasn't really there. And it's like I expect, we always have expectations walking into these movies. Always. That's how it is, especially with everything that they've built. You can't stop having expectations. We're going to have that. Certain ones I have like, and I try not to set realistic expectations. Like I don't go in this movie like, oh, we gonna see Gambit. Like I don't do no bullshit like that. Like we set expectations. Sometimes they're real, sometimes they're not. But when they're not, then you gotta you have to deal with it because you didn't write the movie, so that's not solidified. With that being said, though, there's still some parts of this movie where I feel like different things could have happened and certain characters could have did this. Yeah. And I never really say this. But some of the humor didn't land for me. Like some of the jokes, I'm like, oh man, you know what I mean?
But we always say it, the jokes are fine.
Yeah.
Just make them, don't force the jokes. Like don't place laughter within a position where it just doesn't belong at that moment.
It's not even that. It's not even that for me. It's just the jokes just weren't
hitting.
They just weren't good.
For me, the comedy came at a point where I was like, no, not right now. That's how I felt.
Okay. All right.
I'm watching it and I'm looking like, I don't want to laugh right now.
Yeah.
I don't mind laughing. I'm the goofiest son of a bitch on earth. But there were parts in this movie where I needed certain parts to be taken seriously. I needed fear to be installed. But instead, they made it bubbly, which I haven't minded in other Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But right now, you have Kang in this film. You have Kang in a certain scene. Why are you trying to make me laugh?
Yeah.
Show how serious he is.
Yeah.
He's
that's a criticism that some people have with Ragnarok. I did not personally. I didn't have that criticism with Ragnarok,
because I liked it.
But I could see what you're talking about in this one. It's just I don't know, man. It just if some parts just felt I don't want to say messy. It didn't feel messy. It just felt like a little lackluster.
Yeah, that's what it was. At some point, you can say I don't mind the comedy, but then on the other end, there is such thing as bad timing. You can't get past bad timing. Sometimes people just write shit in a fashion where it's like, all right, it ain't not this time. Ragnarok loved it.
Yeah,
you can't take Ragnarok away from me at all. I love the comedy, but tonight I watched something that didn't really make me want to run to my friends and say, yo, I just watched the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But I still can't go out here and say, don't go see that shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's whack. Like, I mean, I've seen whack movies. If a movie's whack, I'll tell you it's whack. But if there's enough parts in the movie that I enjoyed, then I gotta give you the good with the bad. Like I gotta tell you the whole story. So with that being said, I would say if you were a fan, check it out. Come to your own conclusion. Maybe you might feel the same. Maybe you might feel differently. Personally, I feel like the movie wasn't bad, but it was a little lackluster in places. Like some parts could have been changed. Some of the comedy could have been taken out. Some of the jokes could have been changed because they didn't work for me. But ultimately, like it led to some stuff that I really liked. And we're gonna get to that in the spoiler section. So. That's our thoughts on Quantumania, spoiler free. Now we're getting some spoilers. In 3, 2, 1. The main joke that didn't land for me was that M-Dogg scene with his daughter, where she's like, "Don't be a dick." Like that whole exchange there just felt off to me. It felt weird. I'm like, what's going on? It's like M-Dogg just sitting there. I don't know what to do, man. Come on, man. Like, don't be a dick, M-Dogg. Okay, I'm gonna be good, man. Like that shit. I saw it. I'm like, what's going on, man? Like, y'all could have played M-Dogg a certain way. Like, M-Dogg is a goofy motherfucker. You could have. I don't know. I guess you can't help but to lean into the comedy with M-Dogg because he's a goofy looking motherfucker. Especially if you're bringing him into the live action, he's the goofy looking motherfucker. Or you could have just kept it with the mask down and you ain't got to like lift the mask up. I don't even know how I feel about that connection to Ant-Man 1, it being the same dude. Like, God, surprise, me, blah blah blah. Like,
yeah, because when he was in Ant-Man 1, I enjoyed him.
Yeah, like, he was a great part of the movie.
He was like he was vicious and he displayed that. That's another thing. I was upset because I loved Ant-Man 1.
Yeah, of course.
I love, like, literally, and Ant-Man wasn't somebody who I really read into. But
right.
watching this today, I kind of
like either way, he was a better Yellow Jacket than M-Dogg.
Yeah, man.
Him as M-Dogg, just I didn't enjoy it. Like tying it in. Now here's the thing: if you want to tie that in and make it so that there's a final confrontation between him and the daughter who he terrorized as a kid, who still remembers this shit, it could have been played a certain way where you're like, oh shit, now they can finally. But the way it was done was so goofy and it's like, okay, I guess they had a confrontation. I guess they worked through it, and
then he wound up being hit.
And then his heroic charge coming in. I'm like, I don't buy any of this, man. Like him coming, I'm like, come on, what is happening, man? And him, him dying in like a Deadpool type way, and I'll admit, I did chuckle when he said, "Now I can die as an Avenger," and they looking like, "Yeah,
like,
all right, okay,
yeah, I'll buy it." Like,
all right.
Scott was like, "Okay,
the fuck is going on?" Like, I'll admit, I chuckled. Could that whole part been better? Yeah, but it is what it is. At that point, like I knew what to expect.
Yeah,
like
I feel you.
That so M-Dogg's whole thing, like, especially when they're building up, like Bill Murray come in and they talking and
I was happy to see Bill Murray,
and they're saying he's saying like, yeah, Kang sent somebody after him, like this dude's the shit, like, oh man, like he gonna fuck shit up. He this goofy like, yeah, you built M-Dogg up to be this thing, and he's just this. He's getting roasted the whole movie.
But when he first shows up, oh shit, everybody run! And then
little legs kicking.
Yeah, little legs. It's like a big ass egg. It's just
like I wanted to really love the movie, and I can't honestly say that I love the movie. Like I got to be honest. You know what I mean? Like I enjoyed a lot of parts of the movie. Like I enjoy seeing the family element together and him. Scott and his daughter.
The visuals were nice.
Like Scott and Cassie, like them. Yeah. Even though she was annoying me in the beginning, but I gotta put my mindset into the mindset of how old she is and her situation. Yeah. So I'm trying to see things from her perspective and like, okay, I see she's, according to her, he's not doing anything and blah blah blah. So you get past that and
I did like that. I love the fact that I like the fact that she was vocal about the fact that she thought
he could do more.
He could do more. Get back into the fight. You're an Avenger.
Yeah. Because, and that's why I took my foot off the gas. I'm like, okay. She in a lot of ways she's right.
Right, and because if you were a hero, and then I saw you being lackluster in life, I'm gonna remind you Monday through Sunday, like, yo, you are an Avenger. Act like one. Help these people. That's some shit I'll say to you.
I'm glad that you put it in perspective of that rather than you being a hero and me having to inspire you, because it would never be that. I'm glad you said it the right way, because in this dynamic, I would be the Avenger, and maybe I want to take a day off. Like, no, you can't take a day off. You got to get back on those streets and save the world. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Let me hit up Gambit real quick and let's go save the world.
Correct. The only reason why I used you in that scenario is because I know me. If I'm an Avenger, I stay an Avenger.
On the couch.
No.
Rotating for 3 days.
You think I'm gonna have
cities falling apart? You're snoring. You get up. You go to the fucking fridge. Get your 13th pack of Danimals. Go back on the couch, spin.
So you telling me you mean to tell me I'm gonna be in full blown costume
on the couch,
having powers on the couch?
Sleep.
You out your damn mind. I'm downtown every day stopping crime.
You put the suit on. You see the rerun of Gilmore Girls. You close the door. You sit back on the couch. 3 days later, you still rotating.
Well, if Gilmore Girls is on, what the fuck you? I don't care about the world at that point.
Exactly.
If Charmed is on, I can be suited up. I'm watching Charmed. I'm sorry. That's just where it is.
I mean, but you make exceptions for Charmed. But I'm just saying, like you wouldn't be saving the city. Now, either way, like that dynamic I enjoyed. Like it was good to see. Seeing them back in the quantum realm, the whole I don't know how I felt about the whole reveal of her having this whole other life there.
I never told you guys about this.
Yeah, it just felt so like it felt so generic. Like I've seen this 1,000 times. Like damn, we doing this again?
It was like they tried to make a story fit, and they shoved it in the script and said, "Yo, tell them about a life that you had that you didn't tell them about when you came back."
And then that whole thing of apparently she was messing with Bill Murray and that I'm like, what did we need this?
And Bill was talking his shit. Yeah, we had some good ass times.
Yeah, y'all tore that ass up.
Yep,
pretty much what he said.
Quantum realm and your shit.
And then Hank talking about, yeah, well, you know, I had somebody too, and I'm like,
but they weren't you, baby.
Where did this come from, man? Like. That's not what I saw Ant-Man 1. Ant-Man 1, you were so desperate to get her back, and that's all you were thinking about. Like, you was hitting motherfuckers on the side. Why you... Come on, I don't buy any of that. I mean, realistically, maybe.
That right
but
there.
I don't need to hear it.
That right there. That's when you start to connect film. That's when you see the difference. You were so pressed about getting your wife back. I'm pretty sure you don't care about ass.
Yeah. That's not what he was thinking about.
That is not what you were thinking about. The Hank from part 1 was not thinking about ass, but now all of a sudden, okay, I'm thinking about ass.
Like, so it's just... It's parts like that kind of got put a sour taste in my mouth. I'm like, But then you got dope stuff in there sprinkled like the whole Scott going down to get the part that Kang wanted.
Yeah.
And even leading up into that. Now I say Kang wasn't a threat, but there are glimpses of when he was a threat. Like when he walked up in there and he's talking to Scott. And he's like, I'll kill your daughter right in front of you.
And he does the whole...
And then, like, I'll make you relive that moment over and over and over again. Now, that's some gangster shit to say. Mm-hmm. Now, that right there, okay, if we had that level Kang the whole movie, I'd have shut the fuck up. I'm like, oh, shit. But it's like, yeah, you was the man then, and then, then you chilling. Like, he had glimpses of being, I will fuck your shit up. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He had glimpses of that shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was letting them know, it's like, listen, I'm not the one you really need to worry about. Like, yeah, I do some gangster shit, but I'm not really the one y'all got to worry about. These other motherfuckers, they the ones. And I believe that. And that's why I say there's parts of the movie that I like. Because even though he's a crazy motherfucker, still, he's kind of on our side in a way. Like, he's not really the threat. There are threats out there, not him. He's the lesser of a billion evils.
He is. He's the lesser, but no, he's still not on our side.
But Scott going down there and like fucking multiplying and all that, like that part was cool. Like it was a dope moment and Hope going down there and she's multiplying and it's all possibilities and all that. It's like this shit's kind of crazy.
Yeah, Like she's saying right now, he freaked out when Ant-Man turned into a giant. Didn't make sense to her.
I mean, yeah, it's like towards the end, he's just sitting in the Citadel, just waiting, like arms folded. Hit that, do that, stop him,
finish
put
that.
the shield up.
But you're the.
It's so, you know what I mean?
Can I be honest, bro?
Go ahead.
What if I told you, and I hate to be this dude because we hate doing things like this. I feel as though the Russo brothers would give you a full, brutal version of Kang because of how they do their films.
I mean, of course, it's the Russo brothers.
Right.
It's obvious.
And I just feel as though they would have, but we can't say that. This was a build-up film. This is a setup. So I can't go too deep into the, damn, what the fuck was this mode?
The way I look at it is like, you got to make mistakes to know what works and what doesn't.
Okay.
Right? You know what I mean? So you do this. You see how people react to it. You see what they like. You see what they don't like. You adjust. I mean, they've been doing that since Iron Man 1. Like, you make a movie. There's going to be some people that like, some people that don't, and the people that don't see why they don't like it, and then you adjust. Now, of course, you got to ignore the overwhelming negativity that's attached to things now. So you gotta wade through the bullshit and find the legit criticism and see what works, see what doesn't work, and you tweak and you keep going. You know what I mean? Even us being diehard Marvel fans, there's some things we like, some things we don't like. When we don't like it, we explain what we don't like, why we didn't like it. Like, you try to be objective about the shit and it's constructive criticism. Not that, oh, it was whack. The end. Nah, motherfucker. Nah, you gotta explain why you don't like the shit. Right. So we explain why we don't like it, and then it's all feedback at the end of the day. You see what works, you see what doesn't work, you tweak and you move on. There are glimpses of Kang being the man in this motherfucker. You take that, you escalate it, and you got a villain that can fuck timelines up.
You add on from there.
Like, cause when he got out the Citadel and he said, all right, fuck it, and he just blasted the motherfucker, he's killing him. Yeah. Like, yo, I don't know how many bodies he dropped when he walked out the tower, but he got bodies on him. He boom, 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 like he was killing everybody.
And
everybody.
And Jonathan, the actor himself, like he's perfect for Kang. The way he talks, I love it.
That whole I am Kang, that shit right there. I'm like, oh shit, okay, all right.
And when he flipped his fucking mask down, he went full blown.
Yeah,
he that is a powerful individual. So I'm thankful for that. I'm also thankful for the connections that they showed at the end.
Yeah.
So, like you said, it's a setup film. We will see worse versions of Kang in a good way.
Because if we're gonna see the nice one give Ant-Man the Creed workout, fists and ribs and all that shit. Like, just imagine what we're gonna see in the future.
And he's not even the worst.
Especially when you got those three Kangs uniting all the Kangs, and you got thousands of them sitting there in the fucking Coliseum, like yeah, let's fuck shit up,
doing them roars.
Woo! Oh! Like, okay, so they ready to fuck shit up.
Got Michael B. Jordan somewhere looking like, oh shit,
burn them all,
burn them all.
And then you got the connection to Loki season 2, which I'm really hype about.
That was good. Because
I love Loki. I love the show. Can't wait to see it come back. So it gave us some stuff to be excited about. Was it one of my favorite movies? No. Was it a bad movie? No. Could have been better? Yes. There's a lot of parts that could have been better, but going forward from here, things will be tweaked and adjusted, and we'll see what happens. We tell it how it is. I mean, I wish I enjoyed the movie more, but you got to be honest with the shit. And there are a lot of parts that fell flat for me. Now, I do want to rewatch this movie to see how I feel about it. Maybe things might change. Maybe it'll stay the same. I don't know.
Maybe the second view you might pick out parts that you like. Yeah,
maybe.
I'm with you.
But either way, you know what I mean? I feel like things could have been better. Like the resolution at the end could have been. You know what I mean? It could have been stretched out a little bit because like right after they beat him, portal open immediately, they out. You know what I mean? It's like stuff like that. Although I do like him walking down the street narrating like he did in the beginning of the movie. Like, life is great. Did I fuck up?
Is shit great? Is he coming back?
He said if he doesn't get out, shit's gonna be bad.
Yep.
Did I fuck up? Are people gonna die? Like he had that moment where, and I was getting a little worried. Like, oh shit, are they about to come out now? Are people about to die? Like that uncertainty. Like I like that. I like it because you end the movie on an uncertain note. It's like I don't know. I don't think this is just a happy ending. Like you know what I mean? I like that shit. Like so, I really appreciated that part of it because that was really good. Yeah. Either way, you know what I mean? Those are our thoughts on Quantumania. Like whatever y'all felt, let us know. You know what I mean? Let's have some discussions in the comments. Not arguing. The arguing can stop, although some motherfuckers gonna do it anyway. But let's have a discussion. What did you like? What did you not like? Let it be known. You know what I mean? Let that shit be known. Either way, those are our thoughts, and let's hear yours. Yo, this is Jason Takes Manhattan. Yeah, this is Jason Takes Manhattan, yo.
Fuck everybody.
Damn. Yo! Oh! Yo! Shotgun! Yo, he doesn't give a fuck. He got a shotgun. He doesn't give a fuck. Look at him.
Oh, this ain't Scream no more. This is
Yo!
Holla.
This is Training Day.
Oh, that's the sister from the last joint.